Working in retail is never easy, especially when you have to deal with a bunch of crazies. Welcome to this episode of Tales from Retail. Our first tale is from Hometown Jess. I've been a cashier for over 2 years now, so I've seen all kinds of weird, funny, and borderline insane things happen while working. Today's been super slow until I helped my last customer. He was an elderly gentleman just buying a few small items, so I greeted him, scanned his items, and told him his total. As I waited to see what his method of payment would be, he started unbuckling and unzipping his pants, and I was shocked, so I quickly looked away because what the heck? Then he quickly started apologizing and said, No, I'm not trying to be indecent or anything. I'm just wearing 2 pairs of my pants and my wallet is inside. I slowly started to look back and I saw that he was, in fact, wearing a second pair of pants under the first and digging for his wallet. I just laughed awkwardly and he paid and started to leave. I told him to have a great night and he just said, "Alright," in the most serious way as if accepting my words as a command. The strange part was that the top layer of pants didn't seem to be painting pants or anything like that. They were just normal slacks from what I could tell. Overall, interesting customer compared to the rest of this night. It cracked me up and I think I'll remember this one for quite a while. The fact that he's literally wearing 2 pairs of pants, it has to make you wonder why. Who knows, maybe he's been like pickpocketed in the past and he found that wearing a second pair of pants keeps his money safe. This next tale is by Small of 2 Pieces. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I was the assistant to the retail manager of a swimming pool store. We sold, as you might guess, swimming pools and swimming pool supplies. Anyone that has had the misfortune of owning a pool or working in the industry knows that pool chemicals are a big part of pool maintenance and sales, and every shop has its own line of products and they are always better than every other shop's line of products, despite it all really being the same stuff. One day I was manning the store on closing shift. It was toward the end of the season and things had slowed down that evening. A few minutes before closing time I get a customer.
"Oh good, you're still open!"
I internally roll my eyes. We all know that line. It's 5 minutes before quitting time, but I put on my best customer service smile. How can I help you? Customer, and I use the term loosely.
"I'd like to return these chemicals."
Okay. It's actually store policy that we cannot accept returns on chemicals. This was true. There were signs up everywhere, and it was written on receipts as well. Customers in the past would purchase chemicals, use them, then return them after filling them with water or other substitute materials. So we had to stop accepting returns years and years ago.
"Oh, well, can you make an exception? My pool just fell down and I don't have any use for them now. I'm just trying to recoup my losses."
Me feeling sorry for her like the sucker I was. Okay. Do you have your receipt?
"No."
Well, let me see what you have. She plops several canisters of various pool chemicals on the table. These are all open and half used, and they aren't my brand of chemicals. You didn't even buy them from me.
"Can you give me anything for them?"
Me fighting the urge to get rude. Sorry, can't help you. This must have been 10 years ago. I've moved on to a different industry and thankfully blocked out many of the painful memories of that awful job, but I'll never forget the audacity of that customer, trying to return half-used chemicals that she didn't even buy from me. Either this customer just didn't realize where they bought them and assumed that any pool chemicals could go to any pool supply store, or the fact that they were just trying to pull a fast one. Either way, I'm glad you stuck to store policy and are no longer working in the pool industry. This next tale is from Visual Glue. Busy Saturday, you know how it is. I also work in a toy and home store, with Christmas plus weekend super packed. Made like 10K that day. There was a queue of like 6 people, which isn't even that bad. I had one coworker on the till whilst I was tidying the super trashed store. Karen comes up to me and bosses me around saying,
"It's a shame that your poor coworker is sacrificed to the tills whilst you go about and do nothing."
What? I go, okay. She gives me an intense stare and grabs me to go to the till. I served her, but gave her the slowest service. Do you need a bag? We have reusable ones. Shall I bubble wrap these? Sorry, I didn't scan that item. Do you need your receipt? My coworker was fine being alone. My other coworker didn't show up. Short-staffed. People complain about having a real job until it inconveniences them. Rant over. I was so pressed by this. The fact that you ended up helping her even after that, kudos to you, but the second she grabbed you and tried to take you to the till, I would have had her leave the store. This next tale is by Panic Pilots 27. I work at a small booth in a tourist area. The booth is part of a larger marketplace that opens at 10 a.m. This particular morning, the bus system was running late, so I didn't show up until about 10:15. Additionally, my boss wanted me to do last night's register report. Before I open, all of our merch is covered by bed sheets, and the lights are all off. I kept it this way while I did the report, so no one would think that we were open yet, as customers were looking around at other booths. As I'm sitting there, a man and his daughter walk up and start picking up the bed sheets themselves to look at our stuff. I didn't notice until they walked up to the register, which was very obviously off and still covered with a bed sheet as well. The guy tries to hand me what they wanted to buy, without even acknowledging me. I start to explain that we were not open yet, and before I can ask him to give me a few minutes, he throws the merch down on the bed sheet and stomps off. The part that really upsets me is that he emailed the company and tried to say that I was an hour late. My timestamp says otherwise, and refused him service. Thankfully, my boss was understanding. The fact that he threw a fit like that and even sent the email just shows that he was entitled to the service. He deserved the service, and him not getting it was the end of the world. This next one is from Care Sticks. So where I work, we have these security cages on items that are most often stolen. There aren't many keys and we're super busy, so sometimes customers have to wait a bit, and we're supposed to either walk them up with the item to a register or leave it up at self-checkout for when they're ready. People do not like this. I had a lady complain that I had to bring her stupid electric toothbrush up to the front instead of just handing it to her directly.
Well, they've never done that before.
Yeah, sometimes people just give it to you, but we're not supposed to.
That's ridiculous. I've never had anyone do this before.
Okay, I'm just doing my job. I could get in trouble if I get caught just handing it to you. She huffs and puffs like a little kid.
Okay, whatever. I'm probably not even going to get it then.
At this point, I'm irritated because I'm literally just doing my job. Okay, then don't. And I walk away and bring it up to the self-checkout area. A few minutes later, I watch this woman with a different employee being handed her dumb toothbrush, and she stomps off. The other employee told me that she was complaining about me for doing my job. There was another time I had a grown man get into my face and rant about how I work for the government, I'm not going to steal. While I tried to explain, I don't care who he works for, we have to do this for every customer. A grown-ass man. I was 18 at the time. I hate the security cages. The fun fact, if people would actually be decent human beings and pay for the items that they want instead of trying to steal them, security cages wouldn't even be a necessary thing. I'm glad that you still chose to do your job even if that ditzy employee wanted to give the Karen her toothbrush. And our final tale is by Nudist Ghost. Too long didn't read. 3 different DoorDash people come in for the same order. The first 2 had their cards declined. The third got pissed and tried to shift blame to us. I work at a large retail chain and tonight was the average day at the office, so to speak. I was on closing shift with another person and something strange happened near the end of the shift a couple hours before the store closed. Our store allows DoorDash functionality, so this guy comes in for the items on the list and the card declines, which shouldn't happen because DoorDash cards are pretty much foolproof in terms of payment. The guy, known from here on out, walks out to see what's going on, ends up dropping the order so someone else could take it. Roughly half an hour passes and another guy, Guy B, comes in and asks me to show him where items from A's order are located. I showed him the aisle because I had to go down there for a go back I had. B grabs the stuff then heads up to where my coworker is at and gets the order rung up. His card declined too. At that point, me and my coworker realized it was on DoorDash's end and not ours. Our main register froze as A's transaction, so we were kinda suspicious that it was our computer acting up. And he does the same thing as A and drops the order to have someone else get it. Another half hour passes, the store closes, and I'm finishing up closing duties. Apparently, another person came to the doors and tried to force their way in while the doors were shut, while I was on the other side of the store. He gave some lip to my coworker about how he's got an order for DoorDash and we have to let him in to get it through. She told him the store is closed and explained the situation that persons A and B had. He got some more attitude about how it's our fault DoorDash isn't working right. Just because you get paid to deliver groceries doesn't mean you're on a high horse. I can't help but feel like this is the store's fault to a certain degree that they didn't cancel the order. If they knew 2 people tried to come and get it and it wasn't working, they should have outright canceled the order, mainly because establishments have the option to do so if they can no longer fulfill said order, as would be in this case. Alright, that's enough tales for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Tales from Retail. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, have a great day and stay safe out there.